Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Mindful Muscle Podcast with my fabulous co-host. And I got to take off my glasses because I don't want to look like Jodi. Jodi, how are you doing today?
I am fantastic. If you're new here, welcome. Gio and I are two individuals who went on our own health and wellness journeys and collectively lost and maintained a 140-pound weight loss. And we're here as a podcast for anybody on their fitness and health nutrition journey. But our hearts go out to the beginner because Gio and I have been there. We know how scary it can be making big changes, but we are worth the effort and we're proof that you can do it without losing your mental health in the process.
Yes, some people go nuts doing this process. Our next guest, Raginée Mora, is a fitness and nutrition coach specializing in helping moms regain their strength, confidence, and core health after pregnancy. As the creator of the 8-week core challenge, she helps mommy flattens their mommy tummy, heal diastasis recti, we'll learn what that is, and eliminate back pain and leaks, all without endless crunches or restrictive diets. Raginee, how are you doing today?
Hi, I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. No, man, you and I been friends here for a bit, and I love what you do. I've loved seeing the growth of your channel and what you've been doing. Give us a little background as to how all of this started and how long you've been doing this.
Wow, this actually started, I would say my journey goes back about 7 or 8 years, really. And I'll start with TMI. It started with literally me after having my second baby. And I was sitting on the toilet and I turned around to get some tissue from like the back and my back froze like in so much pain. I couldn't take it. I was like,
Mercy.
what is happening to my body? And I remember, long story short, I had pinched a nerve in my back. And when I went to the doctor, they were like, your core is so weak that you pinched a nerve, you're having issues with your back because of that. And then that's when I started digging deep into mommy tummy issues, diastasis recti, and realizing that I had to do something. I just started really looking into exercises using my like fitness background, and things started to work. I started to share it like with a free group on Facebook, and it was like, ah, wow, this is really helping myself and so many other moms who didn't know anything about diastasis recti, what to do with mommy tummy, because I think a lot of us felt this is just my body, I have to deal with it. And I found that there were thousands of moms just like me who were joining my Facebook group that I made to support other moms with diastasis recti who didn't know what it was. And that's just how it started. It was me trying to help myself, and then I started sharing with other people, and it just became a thing. I didn't
And
mean to start a thing, but it became a thing.
women have children at different ages, but you were a young mom. So this is when this happened. So it's not like you were into your late 40s. So it can happen at
No,
any age, right? If your core is
yeah.
not strong.
Jump into what diastasis recti is. What kind of comments or statements would somebody who might have it say that makes you suspect maybe that's what they're dealing with and maybe they don't know?
So honestly, diastasis recti, I like to lump with having a loose, weak, deep core. So some moms may have diastasis recti that we'll talk about, but some might just have generalized, weakened, deep core muscles, which manifest themselves in the same way. I would say very similarly. And how I usually hear about it from moms, they may complain of just looking pregnant still after they've had their long after they've had their baby is 60 years old, 70 even. They may complain of back pain because of not having that midsection support, and they often complain of leaking issues, which is often can be associated with just deep core weakness in general, whether you have diastasis recti or not.
Awesome.
And
Thank
so
you.
Yeah.
going back to that notion of the weak core and you were a young mother, and yet you were in the fitness industry. So that dispels
Yeah.
another myth. Tell us about your fitness background.
When I was in I did my master's in health education, public health, and while I was doing that, just needed a part-time job. So I said, why not be get paid to help other people work out? So I did. I was a fitness instructor during graduate school just to help pay the bills, and I really enjoyed it. So I actually taught core classes. Like I did that. I worked with the YMCA mostly, but I
Hmm.
even after I graduated, because Baylor, which is where I went to do my graduate studies here in Texas, they did the research for Curbs. I don't know if you ever, the old
Yes.
school
Hmm.
fitness for women. I used to run a Curbs. So my first job out of graduate school, because we did the research, they wanted me to come and run a Curbs fitness for women because I had the exercise and fitness background now. So I actually did a lot of core work and I did a lot of work with the women. This is all before I had babies. And so
Hmm.
I really was well trained to work with women in their core. But it was very interesting because when I started tackling my own issues, it wasn't working. That was the
Hmm.
interesting thing. It's like all the crunches, all the planks, not only was it not working, but I was noticing pain, like more pain in my back, pain in my hips. And I was like, whoa, this is not making sense to me. Yeah, that's my fitness background. And that was a big blow to me. And that's why I started digging deep, because the information on like deep core strengthening, diastasis recti, it wasn't there when I was looking for it. And that's why I really started digging deep into this, because what I knew wasn't working and what I was looking for, I couldn't find.
So now let's define diastasis recti and why is it that pregnancy can cause it to be an issue?
So, diastasis recti, I should have worn my suit. I like to wear on my social medias, but
Don't worry,
I
we'll
usually
show
am
it.
shown I usually show muscles, like if you can picture your rectus abdominis or your six pack muscles and how they're just side by side, your six pack muscles. What happens during pregnancy because of all the extra pressure of the baby inside is you start those six pack muscles, instead of being close to each other, actually split apart a bit. And it doesn't actually leave a hole. If there's a hole or a tearing there, that would be a hernia, like an umbilical hernia or something
Hmm.
like that. But if there's no hole there, it's just stretched connective tissue in the middle. And that stretching is often indicative of just the connective tissue spreading apart, even the muscles being weaker in that area. So, diastasis recti is literally separation. Diastasis means separation. Recti is rectus abdominis. So, separation of the six pack muscles. And there's still something there because people will ask, is it a tear? No, it's not a hernia, it's just a
Hmm.
stretching. So what happens is moms will also see this, Jody, when they do, maybe they'll lean back, just like sitting from here. So if you're watching
Hmm.
and you're sitting down somewhere, if you lean back and you look down and you see a bulging coming up through your midline, that's that connective tissue that has stretched. Okay. And when you
Hmm.
lean back, you're increasing the pressure of your abs, and you may see a bulging coming up through that midline. That's diastasis recti.
Hmm. Okay, so we're yeah, we're gonna walk through a video of yours. Now there are two reasons why I picked this video. One is because it explains what you just said, and the audience will be able to see it video form. But also, you need to share the story of why this suit got you in trouble. Okay, let's go to the video first, and then we'll talk about it.
All right, ladies, today is self-test day. We're going to start with measuring our diastasis recti, and we're going to come back to this video every 4 weeks hereafter until we are totally healed, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to measure at the belly button, 2 inches above and 2 inches below. And I'll just say 2 knuckles above and 2 knuckles below. Lift your head ever so slightly off the ground, just enough to feel firing of your rectus abdominis, these muscles here, okay? The thing is, if you lift up a little bit, you'll know how wide apart your diastasis is. If you lift up all the way, you could actually bring your muscles close together, and that can give you an inaccurate reading. So, just lift it just enough to where you feel the rectus abdominis fire. So even just here, I feel firing, and I want to now measure between those 2 ridges, the inner ridges of the six pack, the rectus abdominal wall, okay? So
I'm gonna pause it there for a second. So elaborate on that because you leaned over and you showed that. Tell the audience exactly, perhaps in different words, what you just shared.
With the suit, you can see there's a line between the six-pack muscles. It's not just one sheet of muscle that
Mm-hmm.
goes across. It's connected by connective tissue. All your muscles in your body are connected by connective tissue. So what we're measuring for is how stretched out is that midline connective tissue that's joining the two sides, and we're measuring that distance between those two sides. That's what we're doing.
Okay. All right, let's keep going.
I'm going to lift my head at the belly button on one fingertip width apart, two knuckles above, one fingertip width apart, two knuckles below. Again, on one fingertip width apart, just by lifting just a little bit. Okay? Now I want to see how deep it feels in the center. So at my belly button, now don't press hard. This is weakened, damaged tissue, so you don't want to jab down into there. So at the belly button, I'm going to lift, and I'm feeling a little less than a knuckle deep at the belly button. I'm going to go two knuckles down, and let's see. It's feeling a little bit stronger. That's exciting. I'm 7 months postpartum after my baby number 4, so I can tell that I'm getting a lot better. That's exciting. Okay, I am again less than a fingertip depth, or less than one knuckle deep. I'm going to go two knuckles above now, and here is just like a fingertip. I'm getting a lot of bounce there. Very firm. So that's what we're looking for. Be sure to write your results down so that we can compare it every 4 weeks. All right, see you in 4 weeks.
In case our
Go ahead.
audio listeners were catching that, it's a very awesome muscle bodysuit that she is demonstrating where your hand should go, where you should check. So if you are an audio listener and you think this may be something you're dealing with, definitely check out her videos.
Raginee, before we dive into the topic, why did that suit get you in trouble?
As cute as I thought I was trying to be with helping people understand the visuals, I didn't realize that there's a very popular anime series called Attack on Titans. Yeah, I'm not into anime, and I was wearing that suit on TikTok where there at the time during COVID there were a lot of younger users, and
Mm-hmm.
I guess they're really into anime and Attack on Titans. I know it's still pretty popular. Anyway, yeah, I would do live videos, and on a normal day, I'd probably get 1,000 people. When the Attack on Titan fans were in town, so to speak, I get 20,000 people on my live,
Oh,
wanting nothing more but to just watch me and make up like scenes in the comments. And I literally had to get off my TikTok for a while and I started doing like videos of me talking about being a breastfeeding mom and making jokes about breastfeeding just to try to get them out of my like algorithm and to unfollow me, because it was really bad. They were recording the videos and putting it on their channels and getting millions of views. It was a huge deal. It was a huge deal.
oh my goodness.
And also, isn't there a story where Facebook thought you were showing nudity with that?
Oh, TikTok. Yeah. I think I got a bit of a censorship because they thought I was showing nudity, like female nudity, because they
Mm-hmm.
saw nipples. But I
Mm-hmm.
purposely got a male suit. And then after that, like I did contest it. They finally did come back and reinstate everything back on. And I started wearing a sports bra. So that was a really funny thing for people to see. I was like, why are you wearing a sports bra in your suit? I'm like, I'm trying to be modest here.
Yeah, that's hilarious. I remember when you shared that story. So now going back to the seriousness of this, because you say you were 7 months postpartum in that video. Does every woman post-pregnancy have this happen to them? How quickly is the recovery?
So that is a great question, because I think some people get pretty afraid. And that's actually an old video. I hadn't seen that in a long time. And I said in the video, like, don't push too hard. It's fragile tissue. And I think sometimes people get really afraid. And the
Mm-hmm.
thing with diastasis recti is it's actually a very normal process. It's just there so that we can accommodate the growth of the baby. And it's 100% normal. It happens in every single pregnancy that would progress into, especially the third, well into the third trimester. Like for some reason you deliver in the second trimester, it may not happen, but in the third trimester it will happen because the baby just needs more space. So the body was made to do that. It is supposed to heal before a year postpartum.
Mm-hmm.
Usually, and when I say heal, if you have separation and you've done that test that I showed and you have 2 fingers width between your rectus, your six pack muscles or less,
Mm.
that's still considered normal. If you press in between there when you do that test and it feels firm like a trampoline, that's very normal. So don't feel like it needs to be all the way tight and closed. But usually by about a year postpartum, for most people, if it's going to resolve on its own, it will have resolved by then. If it hasn't resolved by then, there will need to be work to get it to that point. But I honestly, like, the body will start to resolve it immediately postpartum. You'll start to get stronger and stronger. And that's the time where I like to ideally work with women because we're working along with the body. But we've seen great results with moms in their 60s and 70s because what happens is if at a year postpartum, there's still a lot of looseness, weakness, and separation, if you don't do anything, nothing will happen. It won't strengthen on its own after that. So I have moms who come to me in their more mature years, 60s and 70s, who are like, they're noticing now their muscle density is declining a little quicker than it did when they were younger. They're noticing more issues. I'm like, yeah, if you never resolved it when you were younger, it's now still a great time because you're going to still have to do something if you want to see changes.
Does it only occur if a woman gives birth, and do men experience anything similar to this?
That's a great question. I do get women in my program who have never had children. So it does happen with anybody. I've had guys use my exercises and be in my programs. What happens is it really boils down. I'm not gonna name names. It really boils down to it really boils down to pressure management. So, like in the abdominal region, your core is really a canister of pressure. That pressure is what supports your spine and holds you and keeps you upright. That's what your core really is for at the end of the day. And anything that increases that pressure beyond what you can manage can cause issues. If I had a balloon here and it was full of air, and if you continue to blow up that balloon and the pressure gets more than the balloon can manage, what happens? The balloon pops. Okay, you won't pop, but there's stretching that occurs with that balloon. If you let the air out of that balloon, the balloon is forever stretched oftentimes. So that's what it is. Now, different things can cause that increase in pressure. Baby is a big thing that causes that increase in pressure, but for other people, they may gain an excessive amount of weight and just carry a lot of weight. So they have this extra pressure in there that they aren't able to manage with their muscles and posture and all of that. For guys, especially if they're like heavy weightlifters or super fit, oftentimes they are lifting a lot of maybe weights and they may not be managing their core properly. They may not be engaging the muscles properly. They are increasing the core pressure in a different kind of way. So I've gotten guys who were big in the gym and they look down, they see that, and they're like, "Oh my goodness, like where'd that come from?" It could just be how you're holding your muscles, how you're engaging your muscles when you are lifting or doing these high pressure type activities. So it's just boils down to a mismanagement of pressure or an increase of pressure. Could be a baby, could be weight, could be lifting heavy, or just not engaging the core properly when doing core heavy activities.
Speaking of which, I want to show you a picture here of a professional weightlifter, Ronnie Coleman, and I want you to look at his abs and tell me it looks like he has what you've been describing, and yet he looks amazingly fit. You look
Yeah.
there, right, straight
Mm-hmm.
smack in the middle. I mean, there's a big gap. That doesn't look normal or healthy. Your thoughts?
Yeah, that looks like literally diastasis recti, separation of the six pack muscles. This is really a newer field. This has been something that when I first started, like I said, there wasn't a lot of information on. When I first came out, it was a very scary thing to have diastasis recti. It's stretching of the abs. We have weakened deep core tissue. And it's now I'm learning that it's not always as scary as it looks. It's going to depend on certain things. So like now when I look at somebody and they are showing some diastasis recti or ab separation, I would ask questions like what you asked me, Jodi, about what are some signs? Like, okay, are you having back pain? Are you having leaking? And that can happen with guys too in this type of situation. Are you having any kind
Let me
of
jump
like,
in here real quick. What do you mean by leaking? For the audience, and for me too. I'm not even trying to front
yeah,
that I
we're not
understand
talking
what
about
you mean.
leaky faucet, Gio.
Yeah,
We're not talking about leaky
or
faucet,
leaky
Gio.
guts. I'm
So
not
for
wearing
those
Depends
listening,
yet.
yeah, yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about. I do mean any pelvic floor incontinence. That could
Oh,
be the
okay.
unintentional passing of urine, gas, or anything else coming out of any of the orifices down low. We don't want it coming out without you wanting it to come out, if that makes sense.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Got
Yeah. So yes, if you are presenting any kind of problems like that, even in hip pain, sometimes it can travel down to the knee depending on for different reasons, but the core just needs to be in health or it can affect other parts of the body. So if you're having some kind of pain, discomfort, or if you don't like the look of that diastasis recti or stretched out core, then that's cause for concern. If you don't have pain, if you don't have leaking, if you don't have any major issues, if you're satisfied with how you look, I wouldn't necessarily say it's bad anymore. Like with this guy, when you look at even now they're saying like the distance between the rectus abdominis may not be as big of a deal as the tautness between those two six-pack muscles. So like his six-pack muscles are there. They're a bit separated, but the space in between looks very tight. If you pressed it, it's probably as hard as a rock. So that tissue looks very firm, and that's more the goal that you're going for. So unless he is having issues with his body of any sort, I wouldn't be terribly concerned as I might have been when I actually first made that video that you showed earlier. Back then I would have been like freaked out, but now I've learned quite a bit. I'm thankful. I'm always taking certifications. I'm always updating because this information is pretty new, but now I wouldn't be as concerned unless he said, you know what, actually I leak or I feel uncomfortable. My back hurts a lot and regularly. Then I'd be like, you know what, you have a pressure mismanagement issue and we need to correct that.
Yeah, I wonder how much, no offense to Ronnie Coleman, how much the steroids are an issue with that. And if he ever gets off the steroids, how would that affect? Is there any study in that, the use of drugs and diastasis recti or anything?
Honestly, I've never looked into that, never come across my radar because I work specifically with perinatal women. Usually, I would say women and people not really in that industry because I do
Okay.
work with a lot of women who aren't perinatal, but yeah, it doesn't come across my radar.
So, how long would it take to heal if you are in a focused program like your 8-week core? What are some of the things people are looking to achieve in that program?
So people are usually looking to achieve, obviously, they want a flatter tummy. They just want to feel better in their skin, more confident. Honestly, the deeper issues are usually they want to feel good in their clothes. They want to run around with their kids. They want to feel good with their spouses or whatever it is. They just want to feel like they have their body back. So I think that's often like the bigger goal. But there are some like functional things where they're concerned about like leaking and back pain, and that's often those are some big issues that come across as well. As far as how long it takes now, when you're doing my program, like not in my coaching program because I started one-on-one coaching, but if you're in like just you got my course and you're just doing it on your own, that as far as healing time is going to depend on how consistent the person is with the exercise. If they're consistent and they're doing the exercises properly for their particular case, then they're going to see results in about 3 to 4 weeks.
I know everybody's different, but what if they don't see results in 3 to 4 weeks? Because people respond differently to stimuli. What
Yeah.
would you tell them to keep encouraging them?
So with the moms in my program, like I'll have somebody literally, this happened more recently. I had two different people go through my entire 8 week course of exercises, which really spans on beyond that, but they did 8 weeks of it. And they were both like, I'm feeling stronger, but I'm not quite getting the results I'm wanting in my lower abs. They just came to me at the end of their 8 weeks. Two people, like literally within the same week. And I said, send me a video of what you're doing. And which I leave it open to do that all the time. They don't always take me up on that. But when they have problems, so they sent it to me, and both of them were having the same issue. And it's an issue that I have, and it's not uncommon. What happens is during pregnancy, we often get used to using the muscles we can use. If the baby's filling up the lower abs, we're often using the upper abs, or we're using other parts to compensate. And so what happens is after we have the baby, we're so used to using the upper abs and not using the lower abs anymore. So somebody's doing my exercises, and by habit, they are using their upper abs and they've forgotten to even check in with their lower abs. And so when I'm watching their video and I'm seeing and I'm assessing, I'm like, hey, Lisa, it looks like, do you see in this video that you're using your upper abs, but you're not really engaging your lower abs when you're doing that exercise? She's, oh, yeah. I'm like, yeah, you got it. It's an interesting thing because I do it. I have to check in with myself too, because I carried my babies low. So I have to consciously check in with myself and make sure I'm not just going to my go-to muscles. I'm going to the ones that might have checked out a little while ago, because it's almost like you have to get that neuromuscular connection back and remind your brain, like, no, our core includes the lower, there's no baby in there anymore. Let's get those lower abs. And even from sitting a lot, different things can cause us to not use all the deep core muscles properly. In their case, it's funny. So then now I'm like, okay, I want you to record this video again, but I want you to focus on drawing in your lower abs and not leaving it behind. Don't let your the top of your abs leave the lower ones behind. They're like, okay. And they did it. They're like, oh, I felt that. I'm like, that's what you need to be doing.
Yes.
And so I saw her, she posted, because we have an online chat to check in and stay accountable with each other. And she posted in the group, she was like, oh my goodness, I've never felt sore like this before. I can't believe, I'm like, you should have checked in with me a long time ago, but that's why I'm starting a coaching program, because I'm like, I realize we need a bit more help sometimes. But
Yeah, accountability is so important. And you heard the story here. If you have her 8-week program and you don't feel it's going the way it should be, check in sooner. Don't wait till the end of 8 weeks.
Are there common mistakes that women do? Maybe it's the wrong kind of exercise before they find your program.
Yeah, in my world, I feel like what I'm seeing online is super encouraging. When I was first coming out, I felt like when you look up core exercises, even if it was for someone immediately postpartum, it was still like sit-ups, crunches, planks, burpees, and a lot of your Russian twists, a lot of these things. Now, I no longer say these exercises are bad. What I will say is, if you, like I've said before, if you can't manage that kind of core pressure, then you can have problems. Okay. So if you're not ready for that kind of exercise, then that's not for you. Here's some big signs that will let you know if you see major midline doming. If you see a little bit, I'm not so scared of that anymore. But if you see major midline doming to where when you press it, it feels very firm because the pressure is so tight on it that you could be making it worse. Like, I had a mom come to me and she said, I did a what's that thing called? CrossFit. I joined CrossFit thinking I'm going to have abs of steel, and I came out with a pointy belly. This poor lady did CrossFit, and at the end of it, her belly looked pointier because of the amount of pressure she wasn't managing properly, pushed her, that those tissues in the front stretched them out more, and she had this pointy belly. I was like, oh no, mama, I'm so sorry. So that's the thing, is you can't push yourself beyond your limits. I don't want you to be afraid to move, but I don't want you to push yourself beyond the limits. So that's one of the things I look for. Do you see excessive doming when you're doing a move? If it's excessive, you're going to have to back off. You got to come to me. Let's learn about like how to manage the pressure properly, how to strengthen the deep core, so that what the problem is, when you're doing a sit up, you are engaging the six pack muscles, right? To do that. but you're not necessarily engaging your deep core muscles. When that happens and you're just forcefully using your rectus abdominis, your six pack, but your deep core muscles are getting left behind, like the lower abs can get left behind, then you're causing a stretching of those deeper core muscles. And those are the muscles that actually wrap around your waist and cinch your waistline in. Okay. I hope that makes sense. I've explained
Yes,
that a
yes,
billion
yes.
ways on my YouTube channel and other places if you need to. But you have 4 layers of abdominal muscles and they all need to balance and strength. And if you're just focusing on the one outer layer, you're going to have problems with these inner layers. And those inner layers are the ones that actually make your waistline look smaller. The inner ones are the ones that actually help with the leaking and with the back pain. So if you're just focusing on sit-ups and planks and you're not getting those inner muscles, you're going to have problems. That's the point, if that makes more sense.
Before we continue, won't you give people, audience, where can they find you? Like, where's the best place to get a hold of you?
Best Instagram or Facebook. Mommy Mango, Facebook or Instagram. I would say those might be the best, but I'm
Okay.
pretty much everywhere.
Yeah. For those watching, Mommy Mango is her name. It's right there on the screen. So look her up on Instagram. So you're talking about these inner core muscles. What are some of the best exercises? You said the other ones aren't necessarily forbidden, but you have to manage your pressure. What are some of that people can ease into before they learn how to manage their pressure?
For a beginner, I would say things like heel slides, pelvic tilts, dead bugs. I'd say even a modified dead bug. Early postpartum moms may not even be ready for the full dead bug. Those are some really great ones. Standing core exercises, because that deepest core muscle that kind of acts like that waist cinching muscle, it's really a stability, like upright kind of muscle. So when you're doing things and you're having to, yeah, so I would say those are some that I know like the official names of. I make up a lot of exercises that don't have names, but those are familiar names that I think if you look those, if you look those up, you'll find it versus a lot of stuff I make up based on like things that I know that work. But yeah, the one that you were mentioning earlier, it was like a ball between the knees.
No,
That's
actually,
a hack I like to use.
speaking of which, ready? I got it on the screen. I wanted to show it
Okay.
because I've been doing these 3 exercises for the audience. I noticed I was doing scissor kicks on my bench, and I noticed I had a little bulging there. Now, since I've been doing the exercises that I'm going to show you now, I've seen the improvement. And it's a short little Facebook post you had, and I'll just put it on here real quick. So the first one and the last one are my favorite. I love doing that.
Okay.
The ball, and then the other one with the legs going 90-degree left hook.
Yes.
Why did you make that video? What's so cool about those 3 exercises?
The first one and the second one were a little bit more advanced, but I throw a bunch of different things out there. Those are really great for targeting the transverse abdominis, the internal obliques. I really like how they're not super rectus abdominis heavy. So we're really focusing on just stabilizing the core. Like for instance, that last one, you're lying on your back, you're putting your leg down to the side, but you're not thinking about it, but you're having to keep yourself from falling over, your whole body from falling, your hips from moving. And what stabilizes your hips flat on the ground when you're doing that are your deep core muscles. And so I'm trying to do exercises that are forcing you to use those deep core muscles without really having to think about it. And I'm trying to do things that are less problematic. Like you're not going to have much core pressure issues. I also tied in some other things there. Like that one had a bit of an adductor kind of thing because your adductors are actually tied to your pelvic floor, which is tied to your deep core muscles. So all those things often go hand in hand. They really work together. That first move where I'm like that kind of, I don't know, beast twisty move, I made that up, where I'm lifting my knees. I'm in a all 4 position. I'm lifting my knees off the ground with a ball between my legs. That's getting so many different things. But it's often something I like to use in place of like plank type moves because it's just less core pressure, but you're still feeling it and you're still really using those deep core muscles. So basically, I like to try to do moves that focus on the deep core without you having to think about it that much. So we can get those inner 3 layers caught up to that outer layer and balance the muscles there.
On the one with the ball, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being you're just holding it in place and 10 you're trying to pop the ball, how much pressure should you put on the ball while you're doing that exercise?
You can put as much pressure as you want. Putting the pressure there just really helps you to engage your deep core system better.
Okay.
So what you'll find is you could do that move without the ball, but engaging your adductors helps to engage your pelvic floor, which works together with your transverse abdominis, your deepest core muscle that wraps around your waist and cinches it in. It just turns on that whole system. So I like to do that to just like kick it on fire. Now you can squeeze it as hard as you want to. It's up to you. But for somebody maybe who has a really tight pelvic floor, which I've seen a lot, they might maybe not want to do that. They might not want to squeeze the ball in between their legs. They want to work on de-escalating their pelvic floor a bit and not. It can get pretty individualized.
Are you able to share some of your success stories from people who have followed your program?
Yeah, sure. There are different types of people who come into my program. I think of one that's off the top of my head. Her name starts with an H. I'm not sure how she would feel about me sharing this, so we'll call her Haley. And she came to me when she was dealing with her son. He had a battle with cancer, and she was saying, my son's battling with cancer, but I've been in the hospital so much with him, and I can tell I'm really like losing myself. I'm losing my body. I've just been going through so much, but I could tell she felt like doing something for herself. It's been months of just in and out of the hospital with her little guy. And she said, should I start now? I'm like, look, I'm here when you're ready. So you come when you're ready. I'm not here to pressure you. I'll be here whenever you're ready. I'm here. She texted me the next day, I bought the program. I'm ready. And by God's grace, like her son was declared cancer free, but he was
Amen.
4. And she said, I want to run around with him now. Now he's better. I want to play with him. And I have totally let myself go in caring for him. I want my body back so now I can be present with him now that he's active. And I was like, let's go. And she was saying that she was struggling because she didn't feel like she had her spousal support. She said, I don't really have a support with this. So I'm just on my own. I was like, we're here for you. We're going to support you. We're going to motivate you. You got this. And I just loved it. She sent me a picture later, and it was just like, on the bottom of the picture said getting back to me. And I couldn't believe, yeah, I'm not going to cry, but I think that story really touched me. That story really touched me because she was just dealing with so much. She realized not only that she wanted to do this for herself, but she wanted to do this for her family. She wanted to be there for her kid. And I think that's so rewarding. And when I saw her before and after picture, and then she sent me more later, like how she was just continuing on her journey of just getting better and better. And that was one that really stands out to me in the moment. There are a bunch more. I have a whole page of what people say about Mommy Mango so that people can know I didn't make this stuff up.
But I mean, that's a beautiful point. Like, I believe in your bio, you said that women, we give so much to others, but sometimes we don't give that same care and love to ourselves.
Yeah. And I think that's a huge thing that in this last like quarter of my life, not quarter of my life, but like for a while now, after working with women for several years now, I feel like I've been showing a lot of how-tos. I have billions of exercises out there in like social media land. And more, I'm realizing that the biggest issue isn't lack of exercises. Like when I first came on the scene and there were hardly any exercises, I was like a new thing. Just me. There were a few of us who were really popular in the beginning. It was like such a new thing. But now it's no longer a new thing. I feel like I've done a service to the world and sharing so much free stuff. And it's now after doing that for years that people have the free stuff like literally in their hands. Like you can get access to my app with 28 free exercises, full link. Go Marin Mango app. And I like give so much away that I'm learning now that it wasn't the lack of exercises that's the biggest problem. And that's been disturbing to me. I've been dealing with that lately because I'm like, wow, I can give them more exercises. And it's almost like people are at times less likely to do them. It boggled my mind, and I realized that as moms and as women, the issue isn't always lack of knowledge, it's lack of belief that we are worth the time.
That is
that
deep.
we are worth the investment, that we deserve to have a place in being cared for. And as I listen to the struggles that moms have and like the lack of motivation, I'm like, you are motivated to get up, take care of your kids, take care of your husband, take care of your house, spend all this money on clothes and shoes and everything for everybody else. When it comes to investing in yourself, taking care of yourself, putting yourself first for a change so that you can better serve your family, they're hard pressed. We're hard pressed. We're hard pressed to do it. And I can't be mad. Like I get it because that was me. Like when I pinched
Mm-hmm.
that nerve, I realized at that moment like I have to take care of myself to serve my family better because when my back went out, I couldn't hold myself up. I couldn't hold my baby up. I couldn't take care of my family. And I had to get somebody else to take care of me because my husband had to go to work. He can't miss out on work. Like he's the one
Mm-hmm.
supporting. And I realized, oh my goodness, if I don't take care of myself, I can't take care of my family. Period. So that's actually was a huge turning point for me. That's when the aesthetics of it wasn't so much, even though people thought I was pregnant, that was super embarrassing. And yes, I did have self-esteem issues. I literally, because I'm skinny and I had
Mm-hmm.
this little belly, people did not guess that I was overweight. They just automatically assumed I was pregnant and weren't afraid to tell me. So I got that.
Mercy.
Like I got that. But I think what hit me was when I was literally laid out on my back and I was like, I can't take care of anybody now. What good am I? And that's a tough feeling. That was a tough feeling. And so I get it. Like I'm not shaming moms. I'm realizing now it's not lack of exercises that's the biggest problem because I have so much free stuff out there. People buy my programs and when it come into my coaching now I realize because they need more than just exercises thrown at them.
Yeah, and I like
Yeah.
how Jodi often says you're worth it.
Yeah.
When we're talking about either losing weight or what you're helping people with diastasis recti, you have to come to the realization that you're worth it. And Jodi has said often, and you just said, you can't help somebody else if you're not helping yourself. And for my field of work, this is why the Bible says you have to love your neighbor as yourself. If you don't love yourself, then you can't really pour love into somebody else. And yeah, man, I was listening to you there and I was like, man, that'll preach.
Yeah. Yeah. There's another verse that stuck out to me recently while I was out in the garden, and it was just something like that typical health verse they often use, may your health prosper as your soul prosper. And I thought, if you don't have it in here, like the health just doesn't come. It's just like it's not being valued. Yeah, I don't know. I'm still thinking about that, but I'm just like, it all has to come together. We have to come to a place where we realize it doesn't matter. Like, we have to make the investment, we have to take the time or we're going to pay for it later. Like I think even
Mm-hmm.
of my grandma. Like my grandma, she stopped coming out not because she couldn't walk, not because she couldn't get around. She stopped coming out as much and hanging out as with our family because of her leaking issue. And remember, we're not talking about a leaky faucet, but if we
Yeah.
don't take care of it when we're younger, as we're older, that gets worse too. And that limits our ability to go out and have fun with our family. I remember we were begging my grandma. We had to beg her, like, come out. We had planned a big birthday for her, and she didn't want to come because that was one of her big issues. And we're like trying to make this surprise not ruined by telling her, like, you got to come. It's a surprise birthday for you. But
Yeah.
one of the biggest issues is because she leaks, and people will plan their lives around whether they will leak or not. Can they do the activity? Will I have to use the bathroom? So it's not just, there's so many things that can hold us back and that can keep us from showing up for our family and our friends and having the life that we really want.
Yeah. And the leaking wouldn't even be an issue that you can see outwardly. And so you wouldn't even know what's going on. And we can't let that ruin our social life, as you were saying. And so take care of it while you're young. That's why youth is wasted on the young.
But you know what? It's never too late though.
Yeah,
It's
that's what I'm
never too
saying.
late. Yeah, because a lot of us who are hearing this, who are actually caring, aren't young anymore.
Okay.
Usually we're older and we're like, I messed that up. You didn't, because I
Mhm.
have plenty of testimonials. When one of the moms was like, it worked for my 60-year-old belly too. Another one,
Mhm.
Patricia, she was saying, I've been in physical therapy off and on for 30 years with back issues, leaking. She was actually chastising me. She was just like, you always just recommend your programs to all these young women, and your program helped me. I'm 72. You should probably share this with other people who need it. I'm like, ma'am, I was like, I promise. I try to tell people it's for all ages. Yeah, but I have been getting, especially now, a lot more ladies in their 60s and 70s coming
Mhm.
back and realizing it. I didn't do it earlier, but I need to do it now. And they're very satisfied with the results.
Yeah, and that's something Jodi and I talk about. We were both late into, me and close to 50, 47 when I started my physical transformation, Jodi close to 40.
Wow.
So it's never too late. And so it's good to hear that people in their 60s and 70s are seeing results, because nobody wants to get to 90 bedridden, right? We want to get to 90 to be able to walk and run around with our grandkids or great grandkids. Not that I'll ever see any, because I'm so old of a father, but you get the point. Once again, let people know where they can find you as we begin to wrap up.
Yes, just Google Mommy Mango. You can even send me a personal message on Instagram or Facebook, different places.
Okay, so you mentioned you had an app. That's new to me, or maybe Larry told me and I forgot. So tell us a little bit more about the app.
The app was more of a delivery thing. I don't really share it as like a thing too much, but I
Okay.
just wanted a better place for sharing the content. And I love that we have a community in there. So for those who upgrade to like boot camp or they want to do one-on-one coaching, we do have that community inside of the app. But for
Okay.
those who just want to look it up, I more recently put my free exercises on there just to make it easier for those, who just want to try it out. I have a ton of exercises. So if you look up Mommy Mango in the App Store, you will find it. You will find it. And
Both
you can get access to.
iOS
Yes.
and Android?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
Yeah. Because some people always, there's that turf battle between iOS and Android. People are always
Yeah.
wondering why Android feels like the stepchild often.
No, we definitely are equal opportunities.
In case there is a mom in here listening to this, and maybe they're like your other moms that you've worked with, they're deep down, they don't feel like they deserve it. Give them one plea of wisdom or hope.
Jodi, you've said this before, but we have to really sit and look at our current situation. Like, really dig deep. How comfortable do I feel in the body that I'm in? How pleased am I with my functional level, with how I feel in my clothes, how I feel around my partner, how I feel around playing with my kids? Really think about what you want your future life to look like as a mom. And if what you do now you continue to do, is it going to get you there? And if it's not, let's do it now. Let's not wait till you, like me, pinch a nerve or have some kind of catastrophic thing happen or just have to lose out so much on life because you're, like Jodi said, you're worth it. You're worth it. If you're the one taking care of everybody else, it's time. It's long time to take care of yourself.
Yes, and it's true. No one's going to worry about your health as much as you should. And when you're old and alone, if that happens and you're healthy, then you can deal with it. Thank you very much for coming on. And once again, you could see her Instagram handle right there on the screen. Give her a follow, reach out. I know her as a friend as well, so she'll always be nice to you unless you're rude. Even then, she'll be nice, but she may cut you off. Until next time on the Mindful Muscle Podcast, be blessed.